Hi everybody, it's Janet with Fruit of the Vine. Thank you for joining me on this beautiful day. I appreciate you being here with me. If you would, when you hop on, I'd love it if you would just say hey and tell me where you're watching from. Just give me a moment here while I pull it up on my computer screen, and that way when you're here, I'll be able to see your comments and we can converse a little bit. Alright, so today I'm going to do something really simple, and it's going to be such an easy way for you to make a beautiful monogrammed gift for a friend. All you need is a couple of pretty napkins. I'm going to use these flowered napkins, and you may just need one napkin depending on how your napkin's made. And what I did was I went online and I just found a very pretty monogram, and I printed it out on paper and I just cut that out. So we're going to be using this monogram right here, which is nothing more than a piece of paper that I printed and cut out, and these two napkins and Mod Podge. And then I'm going to put a little bit of color around the edges of it to give it its own sort of its own personal frame. So I'm just going to open my Mod Podge here and get my little brush. Now before I do that though, I want to peel the backing off of my two napkins, because I'm going to use two of them. And you got to make sure you get all the backings off. My fingers have a lot of paint on them. I'm sorry if you see, like, my fingernails look pretty dirty right now. That's not really dirt, that's paint. I was in the kids club this morning and we were dyeing coffee filters, getting ready to start some new fun with the kids. We've been doing paper plate crafts and fun things like that. So we're going to start doing some coffee filter crafts now. So you'll be seeing some of those, I'm sure. We got them colored today, and we made a sun catcher in the window, which I've got to take a picture of so that everybody can see how pretty that turned out. Okay, so I'm just peeling the backing right off of it here. And I'm going to only use this portion of it that has actual printing on it. So I'm just going to cut this piece off. I don't need all of that. And then I'm going to open the next napkin and do the exact same thing. Just push that off to the side and get the next napkin. See if we can get it started and peeled real easily. Now you could do this if you don't have pretty napkins that you like. You can always go online and just find you a pretty floral background and print it on paper, on just plain copy paper. Or if you have a vellum, that would be perfect for printing on vellum. Kind of got it started there. If I can just get it to pull apart. There we go. Hey Jeannie, thanks for joining me. I just happened to look up. I don't know what is going on with this computer. It doesn't... Hey, happy Saturday. I don't know what it's doing. Of course, do I ever? I'm just going to go ahead and cut this off. Now this napkin just so happens to sort of have a natural edging to it. You can kind of see the little purple line that goes around the outside of it there, how it's made. What I'm going to do, I've got my air conditioner on, so it's kind of blowing things around. It's very warm here in Cincinnati today, but that's okay. We like it. It's going to be getting a little cooler this week. They said they were going to be back down in the 70s, so I'm enjoying the warmth while it's here. Later on today, I'm going out and I've got my pool out there. I'm going to get it filled up. Oops, I got it all over the place, didn't I? Let me get that big old glob that I just poured all over. And I'm just going to get this all over this piece of canvas here, because my little napkin is going to reach all the way to the edges. And I'm just putting a nice layer of the Mod Podge on there. And as you can see, it is a sponge brush, so there's always more in it than what you think. Just gotta squish it out a little bit on there. Make sure you're getting it all over. Now, one thing that you could do is you could put, if you wanted this to lay perfectly flat, which might be a good idea, honestly, so we could let this dry for a moment, and then I could iron it on, which would make it absolutely without wrinkles, which is maybe what we'll do real quick. Just let this dry, because really Mod Podge is such a great product. It dries very quickly. And then we could always put a little bit around the edges of it. Okay, so let me grab my blow dryer real quick. Whoop, pull it out of the chimes there. Oh, it helps if it's plugged in, guys. And we'll just sort of, oops, don't blow my napkins away. We'll just kind of slide it right over here underneath these scissors. And I'm just going to dry this Mod Podge real quick. And I'm going to grab my little craft iron. You just sort of unwrap that while we're drying this. It'll just take it just a moment. I know it's kind of noisy. I apologize for the racket. But I think it'd be quicker this way and it'll look a lot better. We can have a nice flat, unwrinkled finish to it. Keeping my Mod Podge out because I'm not finished with that either. We're going to be doing some more Mod Podging right on the top of it with that Monogram. Alright. Sorry about that. That didn't take too long though, I hope. I'm going to plug in my iron. Turn this little fella up. Give it just a second here. Let me get my napkin. I'm going to lay it just the way I want it to be on here. And it's almost to the complete edge of it, but not quite. But it's pretty doggone close. But that's okay. We're not worried about that because we're going to give it a little edging of all its own with just a little bit of black paint when we get done here. Okay. Let's check on that iron. It's getting hot. Just going to take it. Press the napkin down with the iron right on top of the Mod Podge. Now we don't want to go off of the edge here or we'll get Mod Podge all over our iron, which we don't want to do. Press that right down to the edge. Let's take this other piece. I'm trying to keep my purple edging around the outside of it here. So now this one is going to overlap that one just a little bit. Bring it just a little further over to this edge. You want to make sure you got it placed exactly where you want it, because once you start touching it with that iron, that's sort of what's going to be the end result. Once you start with the iron, you're not going to be able to pick this up. It's going to be very much adhered. onto it. Now, I've got this little area here that doesn't have any Mod Podge underneath it. So obviously it's not going to adhere to this area. So what I need to do is just fold this back a little. Now I could just cut it right there, but I'm not concerned with that. I'm just going to take my Mod Podge, it's on this brush, just make a thin layer of it. No, it's not dry. I know it's not dry, but that's okay. It's a little unorthodox. You're supposed to wait till it dries, but that's okay. I'm just going to go over it anyhow. Help it dry itself, right? We're going to help it dry. Turn it just a little bit here. Maybe get me a smidgen more, just to seal it along the edge here. Now, yes, it's got this odd little area where you can see this, but you know what? That's really not going to show up once we get going. Let me smooth that down, because now we can turn our iron off. We're going to put Mod Podge on the top of this and getting the little edges of it, pushing them back and then rolling them flat, trying to. If you have to use your fingers, sometimes you have to use your fingers. Now we're just going to put some Mod Podge right on the top of this. Get a nice layer on there. And where you ironed it down, that's going to be nice and flat. Now where I've put this on this edge right here, that's coming up a little bit. But I'm really not too concerned with that, guys, honestly. Because I'm going to take that monogram and I'm going to place it right on top of this. Try to get it centered. Press it down. And like I said, now this was just printed straight off of a printer on just paper. It's a little bit thicker paper, honestly. I did use a little bit thicker than just regular copy paper, but it's not thick cardstock. It's just a thicker kind of paper. This looks like it needs some underneath here. Just gonna put it under there and press it down. Anywhere that it looks like it's coming up a little bit, we'll just lift it, press it right onto that sponge brush, press it down, maybe right here, press it right onto it, along this edge, looks like it needs a little help, press that in. And then I'm going to even put more Mod Podge right on the top of that. See that coming up? We'll just roll it up, get Mod Podge under it, push it down. Use your finger. It won't hurt it. Got a little piece of ookie on it. Come off of there. There we go. Let me turn it this way. Take my finger and press that down. Just need to let this dry. And while it's drying, I'm going to work that just a little bit there in a rounded S shape. A little under the edge right there. You can see little spots where it's lifting itself, and on those spots, just work you a little more magic on the edge of it. Magic Mod Podge, that is. Press it down. Okay, now, while this dries, I'm going to throw this in the water. I'm going to get me out just a bit of black paint. Actually, I can just do it with the lid. Hi, Carol. How are you today? This is just a quick, easy project that doesn't really require much of anything except some Mod Podge, a couple of napkins. The monogram itself, I literally just printed that off of clip art. And it's a little hard to see at the moment, but once it gets to drying, it's going to look really pretty. And I'm going to do my little bit of a, oh, I guess you call it dry wash. Get it wet, get it on the tip of your brush. And then take it somewhere and rub most of it off. And then we're just going to take our brush and just sweep it up over the edge. All the way around. And it creates its own frame around the outside. And you can still see the purple line. It's still there too. I'm not getting rid of that. Get you a little more of that off of the edge. You can see it's getting a little light looking here, so I'm going to go back over that. Get a little more of the black. And I'm just sort of dragging it over the edge. Just quick little sweeps right around the top of it. Trying to color the sides. This one. I'm just putting some paints on the sides of it. It's just a little canvas board. I usually use canvas boards when I'm doing projects for online. I have stretched canvas for all of the kits and stuff like that. So I keep my stretched canvas for when we're doing parties, and I use my board canvases when I'm just going online and making a quick craft with y'all. Okay. It's still drying, but there you have it. Look how easy and how pretty that turned out. That was so simple. I don't have to have any artistic ability. All I have to have is napkins, Mod Podge, one of my best friends, Mod Podge and iron to make it smooth. Too easy. Too simple and downright beautiful. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll see you again on Wednesday. Bye.